Hello, I just want to talk about, again, the importance of psychic weather, why I bring it up, and why has been so important in my life. Speaking of which, Hocus Focus is on tonight at 8 p.m. at UK Irish time on Sarah Monda Eni's channel with a new psychic weather update. But the reason why psychic weather has been so important to me personally is because it's a central part of my paganism. If you look at ancient Rome, one of the most important offices of government within the city and the empire was the Aurguris, the master of the Aurguries, an entire department within ancient Rome designed to specifically look for auguries, changes in the flights of birds, behavior of animals, chickens, dogs, livestock, and the changes to the internal organs of animals that would signify if there was a psychic weather event that would make it fortuitous to make a political or military decision or not. The Romans placed such enormous emphasis on auguries that it was considered such a high office within the empire and in the republic. And when it was a kingdom, it never changed. It was always there. And it was actually given, the position of the chief augurist or the chief August was actually given to Mark Antony. And that's how big a deal it was. Now, we may look at that today and say that was absolutely stupid and it was pure superstition. How could the internal organs of certain livestock or the behavior of flight patterns of birds and so on tell us what the future is? Well, it makes a lot of sense, and the Romans were right to do it. I can remember the first time I came across it was during when I was a kid, watching the movie about Masada, the Jewish fort in Judea that the Romans assaulted, and it was kind of like Israel's 1916 9/11 type event. But they showed a scene where the priest of the temple of Jupiter were looking at the liver of a sheep, and the priest, the high priest of the temple, goes, "There are no blemishes in the liver. This means that our plans will be fortuitous going forward." And then it was done in the program in such a way to make you laugh at these superstitious Romans. The Romans won that battle. They built an enormous infrastructure ramp in order to, it's still there to this day, to get up onto the mountaintop fortress at Masada and take it. So, you can laugh all you want, but the priests of the temple of Jupiter were correct. Now, why is this so? Animals and animal behavior tells us a lot about the psychic state of the environments connected to them in which humans live. So, for instance, in the new book I have out with Sarah, a Hocus Focus book, we talk about rats, and the sudden appearances of rats are not just a hygiene problem. They tell us much about the psychic state of the condition of the residents and the government of the cities where these events happen, where the rats come out. The term halcyon days comes from the ancient classical world where birds had migrated and they would wait for them to come back. And it was considered a period of calm and rest until the birds returned. This is how much vital importance the ancient world placed on auguries. Livestock who are living amongst humans, such as farm animals, and there is a psychic disruption within the humans around them, will show this in various ailments they will come up with, and one of them will be growths on the liver. Animals under great stress will show liver spots, and this is the science behind it. Now, in Masada, where the seen in the film is there was no blemishes on the liver. This indicated that the morale among the troops in the camp, the Roman troops, was high. Therefore, to continue on in the next stage of the battle was a good thing. You see, it's not superstition, it's actually science. And the same thing with birds in flight. It's one of the reasons I'm really wondering about, is there some kind of tilt in the earth? We're not only having strange changes, birds arriving in Ireland shouldn't be here, the sun in the wrong place in the mornings, too far to the north. Inuit people pointed this out, what, 15 years ago? And also, Ireland is now surrounded by great white sharks, which never come usually north of the Bay of Biscay. We're being told things when these happen that relate directly to the world of people and humans. Now, because we don't live in the agrarian societies that we used to in the past, in terms of like even the countryside is full of machinery and pesticides and chemicals, it's very difficult to do the Aurguries that the Romans did, or the Greeks, or all our peoples, all the ancient Europeans and Asians and everybody. So, and especially in urban environments, but you could still do the psychic weather, and I do it. I am the master of Aurguries in my own way by observing the behavior of groups of people. And this is why I came up with the psychic weather concept, because how they behave is an indication of what's coming. Human beings have this, as human beings become more animal-like, there's definitely a more animalistic nature to humans than there was, say, 50 years ago, with the rise of the NPC, who themselves, one friend of mine theorized, may actually be reincarnated, livestock animals, herd animals that have been slaughtered in their millions. And this is their first time as a human. By their behavior, which we saw during the Rona, you could tell a lot. Me observing the psychic weather was the reason why I said during the Rona Ronicles, just wait, they're not going to force this on you. And there's not going to be a mandatory vaccination, I can tell. Don't wait. The normies and the NPCs are going to be killing themselves to get the jabs. And that's exactly what happened, and we were left alone. So this is the importance of the psychic weather. It's basically me taking the Aurguries technology, and that's what it is. It's a kind of technology from the ancient world and bring it into the present. Now, all of us can do this. All of us can learn this. And it's, you call it intuition or a sensation or something. You would get the intuition or the sensation, and then you apply that to observations of the normies and the NPCs around you, and you get directional clues of where things are going. So that's why I place so much strong emphasis on Aurguries and on psychic weather, because it's a technology that Christianity took from, well, the Abrahamic religions took from us and gave us prayer instead, or hope, or rosary beads, or whipping yourself, and Ramadan, and all the other nonsense. Circumcision played a huge part of it, by the way. And we have lost the ability to read the crowd, to read the room. That's an augury. And so that's it. This is why this stuff is not nonsense, and this is why the highest office in ancient Rome, one of the highest offices equivalent to an attorney general or something like that, or a secretary of state, was the master of the Aurguries. Because the Romans studied Aurguries, as did the Greeks who built these great civilizations. And they were right. When the Christians took over after Constantine the Great, they abolished the Aurguries, and it claimed it was witchcraft and it was necromancy, part of the magic that was forbidden in the Old Testament. And the rest is history. I think this is what gives us as a tribe a real advantage, is that we're learning how to use the Aurguries again. So don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m. on Sarah Mondaini's Wuthering Nights channel, the latest Hocus Focus. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.